Hello and welcome to this episode of A Healthy You. Today we're talking about HIV and AIDS. Most people on the planet know of someone that has been affected by HIV and AIDS. In this episode, we look at what HIV and AIDS is. HIV is the human immunodeficiency virus that causes AIDS. AIDS, or acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, is a disease in which the body's immune system breaks down and is unable to fight off certain infections. AIDS is the world's deadliest infectious disease amongst adults and is the fourth leading cause of death worldwide. An estimated 5.7 million people in South Africa and over 22 million people throughout Africa are living with HIV and AIDS. And since the beginning of the epidemic, more than 14 million children have lost one or both parents to AIDS in sub-Saharan Africa. A person who is HIV infected carries the virus in certain body fluids, including blood, semen, vaginal secretions, and breast milk. The virus can be transmitted only if HIV-infected fluids enter the bloodstream of another person. HIV is spread most commonly by unprotected sexual intercourse with someone who's HIV infected. It can also be spread by blood transfusions with HIV-infected blood or contaminated needles. An infected pregnant woman stands 1 in 3 chances of her baby becoming infected during pregnancy, childbirth, or breastfeeding. As soon as HIV enters the body, it begins to disable or destroy cells, often without causing symptoms. Some people experience symptoms that are often mistaken for flu or a mild viral infection from which the person appears to recover. Symptoms can include a fever, sore throat, swollen lymph nodes, headaches, nausea, vomiting and diarrhea, fatigue, joint pains, and a rash. Children born with HIV have a weakened immune system and usually become sick frequently. Testing for HIV antibodies is the only way to know whether you have been infected. However, during the window period, which can be from 2 weeks to 6 months before antibodies are detectable, standard HIV testing is ineffective. Once the primary infection is over, most people do not experience symptoms for another 8 to 10 years. Left untreated, HIV destroys white blood cells that are required to fight infection and diseases like tuberculosis, pneumonia, meningitis, or encephalitis can emerge. It is at this point that a person is said to have AIDS. AIDS ultimately is a fatal illness. There is no cure for AIDS. However, there are drugs that can slow down the progress of HIV and slow down the damage to the immune system. These drugs are called antiretrovirals or ARVs, and if they're used properly, they can allow you to live a longer and healthier life. In the next episode, we'll look at how one can live with HIV and AIDS.